So, who loves a great locker room speech? I love hearing inspirational speeches that clarify vision, that give us marching orders, that get you all pumped up. Great stories often include moments like this. I think of movies like Braveheart, Remember the Titans, Invincible. Those are just a few. I really love a good sports movie, and a team is down, or the win is really close, and if they don't keep it up, they're not going to win. I love when the coach comes in and just rallies the troops. Well, a book I'm reading right now called Unreasonable Hospitality has one of these moments. Well, granted, it's not as exciting as Braveheart, but the author is taking over an established restaurant. It's doing fine, but the vision that him and this really innovative chef have is to have a restaurant that's not only great, but it is set apart in service and experience. It has amazing food. But first and foremost, it has unreasonable hospitality. That is the vision that these two guys have for their restaurant. And as they're trying to get this started, they're coming into conflict. There's kind of this old group that did things one way, and a new group of servers, and they've got this really high expectations. But how they're implementing things is not simple. It's kind of a complicated system, and everybody's going different directions. And there comes a point with his team that he needs to clarify the vision and clarify his and their role in it. He tells them that first and foremost, he's going to do what's best for the restaurant. And so if the restaurant is first, that means that the individuals are going to come second. But if the restaurant comes first and they do what is needed to make that vision happen, really it will be what's best for everyone. And the restaurant had been making so many adjustments and accommodations for every individual server, according to their preferences, that the vision of the establishment was taking a back seat and was really considered second to the person. And when I read that, I was like, I wonder what that looks like in our context as a church. And on the surface, it feels right. It feels like the good Christian thing to do, to put the individual person first and the vision second. However, our vision includes the person in the context of the whole, with Christ at the center. Does anybody know what our vision is? And I know I'm recording a video, so you can't actually respond to me, but just take a second. Do you know what our vision is? It's up on the wall, okay? But our vision is more than just words on a wall. It is, we exist to lead people far from God into a full life in Christ. That is our vision. We are all about people, but it is God first. We want to lead people who are lost to know God fully. So that's why we want them to know God. We want them to find freedom. We want them to discover purpose and to make a difference. We want to be spiritual tour guides, helping people become fully alive in Christ. This is what we are about. We filter everything through this lens. God comes first. The mission we are called to trumps our preferences and our comfort. Seeing the lost drives us. So what does this look like for your teams? This might look like asking teams to serve in the rain, which our parking team does faithfully and with a great attitude. Every time it rains, you're going to see them out there. They're going to come prepared that day with their rain gear. They're going to come with a change of shoes, and they're going to do it with a smile. But they're not the only team that gets to serve out there. Security might make the rounds of the building instead of choosing to, well, it's raining out, I don't want to make the rounds around the building. You're going to choose to make sure the place is safe. Our greeters, we're going to ask you to be outside in the rain holding umbrellas so that our guests have an amazing experience and are just so touched that you would come out in the rain, get wet, so that they can walk in dry. This might look like asking our dream team to switch services that they're serving because you have 10 people serving at 8:30 and 0 people serving at the 11:30. This might look like, and this actually is, expecting our Next Steps tent team to ask every person they interact with to fill out a connection card because they know why it matters so much. This might mean verifying key cards are turned in at the end of the day because we want to have integrity and consistency. So first and foremost, we need leaders who have a burning passion, something in their belly that says, I want to see the lost saved. That is your mission every single Sunday. If that is not first and foremost to you, I want you to pause. I want you to evaluate, why isn't that first? Maybe that's not what I'm about. Maybe, this is hard to say, this is not the season for you to be leading, and that's okay. Find a spot where you can serve. But I don't want us showing up every single Sunday just going through the motions. You have to have a heart that is broken for the lost in order to lead our people to do the same. That is the vision of our church, to reach those who are lost, so lost, to live a fully alive life in Christ. I want you to be about that. This is a time for us to be prepared, to get prepared to focus. So what we're going to focus on is developing our teams. We have many doers on this team right here. We have many doers. I need you to be developers and coachers of people. I don't want you doing the thing. I want you developing your people. If we are going to be ready for what is coming, which is more people who need to get connected, who need to go through group, who need to find a place where they fit, who need to share their story, who need to get free from some things. I need you as leaders to coach your people. You are not enough on your own. You can't do everything that your team needs to do on a Sunday or during the week. You need to start developing your people and have them be a part of this. This means giving away titles. I need you to be willing to give away your title, your popularity, your own personal preferences, because we must grow as individuals if we're going to be prepared to lead others where God is sending us. So, I know that was a lot, but I believe you can handle this. There are just a couple of things we're going to start working on first. I love a good action step. Okay, great. I'm all fired up. What do you want me to do, Coach? Put me in. All right. I know I said a lot of things, but I want you to commit to investing in your teams, not just with care, which is getting better. Thank you so very much. Care is getting better, but now you need to step it up. You need to invest and commit to offering trainings for your teams. So I'll use the Next Steps as an example. Training that team to know how to have conversations. Why do we need a connection card from every person we talk to? Why does it even matter? How do we go about that? How do we get out from under the tent? We need to train our people how to do that. We're already having security trainings. Our admin team is training their team how to create profiles. These are things that need to be regular, not these are expected. This is baseline expectations that we're starting to do this with our teams, provide trainings, that we're consistently onboarding people. We've talked about our onboarding process. It's time to implement it now. So that's the first thing, training and onboarding. I need you to commit that is going to happen for your environment. Number 2, structure. We need structure. So our schedule, our A/B rotations, who's serving at which services. We have some weeks where it is amazing. We have so many people at each service, people that are really engaged, they're in the right spots, they know what they're doing. And then we'll have another week, wah, wah, wah. Not so much. We need to start shifting some people around. And a part of that is assigning positions. So for instance, if you're on security, you've got, what positions you need people in the auditorium. You know where you need a medic. You know where you need somebody stationed at a door and in the foyer. Do your people know where they need to be on a Sunday? For our parking team, does our parking team know we need someone at the Y? We need someone at Kids Point parking. Our greeter team, do we know where we need people? Do we know why? Do we know how many? All of those things. Your team is going to be a lot more enthused about what they're doing if they know their spot. They're not just filling a hole, but they are certain, if I am in this spot, this is what I do. This is why I do it. I have so much purpose. They're going to serve with a lot more passion, but you have to make it clear to them as their leader. And the third thing, this is a non-negotiable, huddles on Sunday with your team. We used to call them a VIP because of vision, information, prayer. Super simple, VIP. Vision, information, prayer. Your huddle can look however you want it to. The only thing I'm saying is they must happen. Your team on a Sunday, your specific environment needs to know what's going on and what part they have to play, because they've shown up and they've said with their presence, put me in, coach, I'm here. It is your responsibility to coach them, and they need to know the play. They need to know what's going on, and that team huddle is so very vital in helping that happen. I've watched the usher team, shout out to Charlie and his team. I've watched them do this most Sunday mornings. If not all, I'm not in the auditorium every single Sunday when they start, but they get together and they talk through the day. If there's going to be communion, if there's a special element they're prepared for, and then they pray. They pray for the people that are coming. It's beautiful. And you walk in the auditorium, the ushers, they know where they're supposed to be. And when they have extra, they know they have extra, they send them out to help with the greeters. If we're all modeling that, our team is going to function a lot better, and we're going to know why we're there. And when we leave on a Sunday, we will know that we did our very best. And it won't just be, yeah, we did a Sunday. We executed an event. We're going to be able to walk away with stories, impactful stories of people who were far from Christ, who have taken a step. Maybe that Sunday they didn't become fully alive, but because they were there and because our teams did what they were supposed to, they stayed focused on the vision. Somebody took a step, not just one, but many people took a step in knowing the Lord more, took a step in becoming more alive in Christ. That is what we want. That should be your aim every single Sunday, to lead your team to accomplish the vision that God has given us here. So I'd love to know that you're in.